right, everybody, this is gonna be a super fun one today. I'm gonna show you my own recipe for a take on a Korean fried chicken bite. Now, you may have seen these come into popularity recently in your area, but they are steeped in a lot of tradition. And I'm really excited to show you my take on them, something you can do at home with ingredients you have around the house, and you can even do them right in your air fryer. Check this out. Now, I'm gonna be working with chicken thighs for this Korean fried chicken, and there's a couple different reasons why. One, I like the fat content in chicken thighs. They're gonna have a little bit more juiciness, and they're gonna just really have more flavor and bring that to the party. Also, because they are the dark meat and because they have more fat, you can cook them and get them a little darker, a little crispier, and they can handle a little bit higher than that traditional 165 degrees. Now, of course, whenever you're handling raw chicken, please always glove up, and if you're not gloving up, be sure to wash your hands immediately. These chicken thighs that I have are already skin off and boneless, and so all I'm gonna do is chop these into about inch by inch pieces. That's really the size that I'm looking for when it comes to these little Korean fried chicken nuggets that we're gonna be doing. We're looking for something about like that. Let's get them all done up. When you're cutting chicken thigh, you'll find that you do have a little bit of that extra fat, and you also have a little bit of sinew or silver skin or connective tissue. That's why it's always super important to have a very sharp chef's knife. That's gonna make sure you can cut through that right away. You're not slipping and you're not gonna hurt yourself either. All right, we've got those all chopped up into the chunks we want. Let's go ahead and get these in a marinade. Now we're gonna put together a really easy marinade for these chicken bites. I got some ginger here that I need to peel. Pro tip, use the back side of the spoon and the skin will come right off without taking off too much of the ginger. This way you get the absolute most out of your product each and every time. We're also gonna chop up 1 clove of garlic. This doesn't have to be finely minced or anything. We're actually just gonna slice it. I'm gonna cut it nice and thin. That way a lot of that flavor gets all into the marinade for this chicken. We're gonna take our bowl, add that garlic right in. So we're gonna take that ginger root that we just cut, take a grater and just grate about 1 inch of ginger into this marinade as well. I love fresh ginger. It's so fragrant, so beautiful. We're gonna add a little bit of salt and then just a little bit of sugar as well. And then a touch of rice wine vinegar. We're using rice wine vinegar for its acidity and the fact that it's gonna season this meat really well. Gonna get all those little chicken bites in there. Don't forget to glove up and massage it all around. I would marinate this for at least 30 minutes, but no more than an hour or two. The more acidic that your marinade is, the more that it starts to cook or starting to break down the protein, especially in chicken. So we're gonna let this hang out for about 30 minutes. It's gonna tenderize the meat, it's gonna flavor the meat, and it's gonna be perfectly ready for our breading station. And today we're gonna employ that 3-tier breading system to ensure that each and every chunk of chicken is coated evenly and deliciously. In our first vessel right here, we're gonna put in some cornstarch. This is gonna ensure crispiness and ensure that the egg, which is our next step, adheres directly to the chicken. We're gonna take 1 egg, crack it in a bowl. Go ahead and give it a nice little whisk as well, just like you're making scrambled eggs. And in my last bowl here, we're gonna add panko breadcrumbs. This may not be traditional to Korean fried chicken, but because we're using the air fryer method, I really wanna get as much crunchiness as we can, and these beautiful breadcrumbs are gonna give us just that. As always, make sure you are seasoning each and every stage of this breading station. So you are getting seasoning throughout each and every bite of your chicken. All right, we are gonna start with our marinated chicken chunks going directly into that cornstarch. Just a few at a time. You don't wanna overcrowd any part of this process. We're just gonna move those all around. Once we are coated beautifully all over in cornstarch, we're gonna shake off the excess and put it right into that egg. So we dip it in the cornstarch first so that the egg sticks better to the chicken. If we didn't have any sort of starch on the outside of this chicken, that egg would just wash right off. We're gonna get all of our chicken evenly coated in that egg mixture. Make sure each nook and cranny is covered. It's gonna look just like that, and then we are gonna go immediately into our panko breadcrumbs. Now, panko breadcrumbs are actually Japanese in origin. They can only be made from shakupan milk bread or a square enriched bread. It's absolutely wonderful. That's why panko is so much different than other breadcrumbs that you see that are just your standard bread. It has to be a certain bread, it has to be a certain flakiness, and when it comes out, I mean, come on. Look at that guy right there. This is gonna fry up awesome. Now, usually I would take my breaded chicken bites here and I'd spray them down with a non-stick spray, put them right in. I have found with panko, it is better to actually get a little coating of oil right on each one and just kind of shake them up and get them coated. This just seems to help with the browning process a little better, and it's gonna help us achieve exactly what we're looking for. Now, I'll be honest with you, I used to be an air fryer hater. I was like, what's the deal with these things? They're just convection ovens that take up another spot on my counter, and my oven already has a convection setting, so what do I need this little air fryer for? Boy, was I wrong. Air fryers are awesome. You know, you look at them from a couple different ways. One, we're not deep frying anything. We are adding a little bit of oil to this, but still significantly less than we would if we were gonna be deep frying thing. They heat up much quicker than your home oven does, and they use a lot less energy too. We're gonna go ahead and air fry these at 380 degrees for about 12 minutes. And just like that, they are crispy, crunchy, and delicious. One of my suggestions is gonna be to take one of the larger chunks of chicken tenders that you have, and go ahead and temp that. Make sure we are at least 165, which we are. Remember, like I said, thighs can go a little bit further than chicken breasts can, and they're not gonna be dry. Now, you've probably seen green onions or scallions chopped up, you know, hundreds of times. You go right here, you cut up little strips and you put them right on top of your dish and it looks wonderful. I'm gonna show you a really special way to use green onions as garnish today, and it's really gonna take your dish to the next level. It is gonna be something that will impress every single person at your dinner party. It's gonna be a really fun one. So instead of going down and just cutting little strips like this, we are going to take probably about 2 to 3 inch portions, just like this. So you have the tube, about 2 to 3 inches there. I'm gonna cut that right down the middle. And again, guys, sharp knives, this is the way it's gonna work. You need a sharp knife. So these are now cut down the middle. I have 2 pieces of that tube. And instead of cutting them short way, I'm gonna cut them long way in as thin of strips as I can. They're gonna look something just like this. Look at those little guys. As always, we wanna keep our knuckles turned in, have our knife right against that lead knuckle. That way, we don't chop off any fingertips. Just like that, we've got all these beautiful little strips, and I'm really excited to show you how we're gonna use them. So here's where our cool trick with the green onions come in. We are gonna get a little bowl of ice water and just dump in those beautiful little strips that we just made. And it'll maybe take 15, 30 seconds, maybe up to a minute, but these are gonna curl up beautifully because of that ice water, and it's gonna leave us with a really fun garnish. As you can see, this is really starting to curl up. This is gonna be something really fun to put on top of our chicken. We're gonna let these go for another couple minutes, but they're getting there. Look at that guy. These are really starting to curl up beautifully. Now let's make an awesome sweet and spicy sauce for this Korean fried chicken. To the pot, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, about 2 tablespoons of honey. I always love to use local honey. This is found probably about 3 miles away from my home. I always find it tastes the best when it's local. We're gonna add a heaping half cup of gochujang paste. I thinned that out just a little bit so it would pour better. For acidity, we're gonna add about a tablespoon or so of our rice wine vinegar. Soy sauce will be about 1/4 cup as well. And then we're gonna grate in a little bit more of that fresh ginger from earlier, along with another clove of garlic. This is gonna give us those sweet, spicy, umami flavors that you're used to seeing in Korean cooking. But these are ingredients that you can find right in your own home. We're gonna turn on our heat, bring this up to a bubble, let it thicken a little bit, and it's gonna be a beautiful sauce to coat this chicken. This has been going for about 5 minutes, and you can see how well it's bubbling and thickening up. Give it a nice mix. You can see this is exactly the consistency we're looking for. Just like that. I'm gonna pour this into our measuring cup, show you the beautiful color that we're working with. All that flavor. This is gonna be really fun to dress that Korean fried chicken in. All it's left to do is toss these in the sauce and get them plated up. Right out of our air fryer basket. We're gonna pour on some of that beautiful gochujang sauce that we made earlier with the brown sugar and the honey. That spicy sweet, some soy sauce for some umami. Really just wanna get them nice and coated. And what I love about dishes like this is when you're plating them up, you don't have to go crazy. This isn't a fine dining dish, but you can still elevate them to really impress your friends and family. So I'm gonna take these beautifully coated bites of Korean fried chicken, put them right there in my bowl. I really like to use a black sesame seed. I think it's a really fun pop of color that you don't see often. And then if you remember earlier, we now have these green onions that have curled up beautifully and can sit right on top like a nest. And they're just really fun. Look at those, all different shapes, beautifully curved. That's what I'm talking about, baby. So let's dig in and see how we did. Beautifully red, crispy. The sweet and spicy combo just works so well together. The brown sugar with that little bit of local honey in there. And that gochujang, it's not overly spicy. You can spice this up a little bit if you'd like. You can add some cayenne pepper. You can add gochugaru. Really whatever fits your palate the best. I'm gonna give you full, really whatever fits your palate best. That's what you should be doing here. I really like this level of heat. That's really palatable. It's a little spicy, but it's not too crazy. Everybody can enjoy this one. Thanks guys for watching today. I really appreciate it. Please let me know if you make these.